Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I know why you clicked on this video because y'all saw that picture and was like, what is that? It is steak medallions with a seafood medley with homemade roasted garlic mashed potatoes. So let's hop right into the video. So first you want to start off with a whole garlic bunch. And I'm just going to cut off the top of the garlic bunch. So like 1/4 of the garlic bunch. And then I'm going to drizzle it in some oil. You can use olive oil or grapeseed oil. And I'm going to fold this up in some tinfoil. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and I'm going to let that bake or roast for about 30 to 35 minutes. Now moving on to the potatoes. I'm using red potatoes because I just think red potatoes go really, really good with steak. But you can use white potatoes, you can use russet potatoes, whatever type of potatoes you like. This is your food. But I'm just going to take my red potatoes. I have 6 medium and I cut them into 4s. And then once I did that, I just placed them into my pot and I'm going to cover them with some water. And I'm also going to add a pinch of salt to my potatoes. And I have my stove on a medium heat, and I'm just going to let that cook until your potatoes are fork tender. You should be able to mash them literally with a fork. Moving on to our steak medallions. I use filet, but you can use sirloin. Sirloin definitely goes good as a medallion, and you can buy them already cut up in the store. But I wanted to use filet because I just love a good filet. And I had my butcher cut off all the fat. You can actually go to this grocery store and just ask them to cut the fat off for you. And I ended up cutting my filet into 5 pieces. I wanted my cubes to be a nice size, and for presentation purposes, of course. This channel is all about presentation and having the food taste good. So I'm going to season my filet with just some kosher salt and some black pepper. You don't want to over season your food. That is a thing, guys. Y'all can't overly season y'all food. So all I did was use kosher salt and black pepper, and I seasoned it on all sides because, again, we got a lot of flavors that's about to be happening into, this dish. But if you want to, you can use steak seasoning. If you feel like salt and pepper is not enough, you can use a little bit of seasoned salt, but don't go ham with it because, y'all, it's a lot of different flavors. We don't want it to clash together. So once your steak is nicely seasoned, I have my stove on a medium high heat. I'm using grapeseed oil. And once the oil is hot, we want to place our medallions down and do not touch them because we want a beautiful sear on them on all sides. We want a beautiful sear. And I just put mine in, I think it's counterclockwise, so I knew which one I needed to flip first. And I let that go for about 2 to 3 minutes. And once 2 to 3 minutes was up, I went ahead and look how beautiful that is. I flipped it over so then the other side can get like that. And I just flipped all of them over like that. And then I flip them on their sides so even the sides can get that nice sear. But once you do that, they should all look like this beautifully. Oh, they just look. So make sure you taste them too and make sure that they are cooked to your desired temperature. Place them aside and we can move back to the potatoes. I drained my potatoes and it's been about 30 minutes, and I'm going to put a whole stick of butter in my potatoes, but I cut my butter up into 6 pieces. I put the first 2 pieces in there at one time, and then as you can see, I'm mashing it with a fork because they're fork tender. And once I put the first 2 pieces of butter in there, I did switch over to a spoon because the potatoes were all mashed up. So now I was able to you can use a whisk too, or you can use a hand beater, whatever you prefer. I just did a fork, and I just added in the next 2 pieces of butter, and I mixed it around again. And then as you can see, I took my my garlic cloves out the oven. If you let them cool, you can squeeze them out, but I didn't. They were hot. So I just took my fork and I just took the cloves out, added them to the mashed potatoes, and because they're so tender, they just literally mix, melt in with the butter. Add your last 2 pieces of butter in. Don't they look done? They look like you don't need to add nothing else to it. You can eat them just like this. You don't have to add milk. You don't have to add heavy cream. You don't have to add anything else to your potatoes. You can eat them just like this. But I like to add in half milk, half heavy cream. So I did about a half a cup of each, and just make it to your desired thickness. I like mine to be like a slim thick. Y'all know that. And then I just went ahead and seasoned it. I seasoned it with a splash of salt, black pepper, some seasonal, and that was it. Mixed it around, placed my lid back on top of it, and then I'm going to move over to making our seafood medley. So about this lobster tail, I believe this is a 6-ounce or 8-ounce lobster tail. I totally forgot to ask, but it's a big one. And I just took as you saw, I cut the bottom of the lobster tail off so I can just pull out the lobster. Very, very easy. And once I did that, I'm just going to cut my lobster up into nice thick chunks, kind of like my medallions. And then I peeled and deveined my shrimp. I used the 16 to 20 count shrimp. Now, with the shrimp, you can leave the tail on or you can peel it all off. I left my tail on because when you leave the tail on, it does make the shrimp appear to be bigger. Even though it's the same size, it just appears bigger. I'm going to go ahead and season my shrimp and my lobster with a splash of salt, some black pepper, Old Bay, seasoned salt, and that was it. We're going to go ahead and throw 2 tablespoons of butter into a pan. Once it starts to melt, add a tablespoon of garlic. You can do minced garlic or you can do fresh garlic into your pan. And once everything melts, you're then going to add in your lobster and your shrimp. This smell that's going on in your house at this moment, from the roasted garlic, from just the minced garlic with the butter, from the steak, it is so heavenly, y'all. I'm not lying. It's about to make me come through this camera. And I'm telling you, this smell is heavenly. But once you add in everything, you're going to mix it around. And seafood doesn't take that long to cook. I think in total, I cooked this for about 45 minutes. So after about 3 minutes, you want to start to add in your heavy whipping cream. And I like, of course, my sauce to be a little thick. So I did like a small teaspoon of cornstarch. And I just added in some heavy whipping cream. And I went ahead and mixed that all around. And then I'm going to start seasoning it again. And then I was tasting it as I was going to make sure I had it seasoned right. And it was so good, y'all. It was like you can eat this just like this. You can add in some pasta. This seafood medley right here, this is on another level. But I went ahead and threw some parsley in there, and I added in some more seasonings. I added in some paprika. Oh my God. I added in a splash more of Old Bay. It was just absolutely heavenly. But once you get to your desired thickness of your sauce, you can then set that to the side because we are going back to our steak. Y'all thought the steak was done. No, we're not done with the steak medallions. We got to make sure they are glistening when we plate them on our plate for presentation time. Now, next you want to melt a half a stick of butter, throw in some rosemary and some thyme leaves. Melt that in a microwave for 1 minute. Add that with your steak medallions. You're just going to toss that butter sauce with your steak medallions, y'all. This is going to take your steak from a level 8 to a level 800. Oh my God. Look how beautifully I'm done. It's time for presentation time because we all know presentation is key. So I have my square plate that y'all know I love to get from Walmart. I get all that you see in the videos that I make, all of my plates and bowls, etc. are from Walmart. Some of them are for Target, but most of them are from Walmart. And I just place my homemade roasted garlic mashed potatoes on a plate. And I'm literally just having fun with the seafood medley. I arranged it one way, and then when it was time for the steak, I was like, well, how the steak gonna go in there? So then I had to rearrange it another way. But I literally just played with it, and I had put as you see, the shrimp all on each side, and then I got my steak medallions kind of going across over. Y'all see, I can't explain that. Y'all see what I'm doing. But once you got your nice steak medallions on it that is glistening right now in this camera, you then want to add a little more sauce to it. Clean your plate. Make sure you know your plate is all wiped of extra juices that fell on your plate. And then you want to take some chives, some whole chives, and I just literally did like a crisscross on top. And you can add some parsley to it if you want to, but I thought the chives really gave it a nice, classy look. But that's pretty much it, guys. It came out so flavorful, so many flavors in this dish. You guys have to try it. This could be a weekend meal. Y'all know I be having the easy meals for the week, but this definitely is a weekend meal, guys. You're gonna need to make this on a Saturday or a Sunday when you feeling fancy or you got a date. You trying to cook for her. Yeah, do this meal. But that's pretty much it, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys are washing your hands, and I will see you guys at my next video.